Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes are going to win out and play for a Big 12 championship and be 4 quarters away from punching their ticket to a college football playoff. Let that sink in for a second. Just marinate on that for a second together. We're here in November. We're not here in September. We're not buying early season hype. This is real. Deion Sanders and Colorado control their college football playoff destiny. Don't tell me what's possible and impossible. Make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel, College Football. Nothing but college football, the greatest sport on the face of planet Earth every single day. Glad to have y'all dialed in. Glad to have y'all subscribed. If what I said at the open doesn't make any sense, allow me to get us all up to speed together here, all right? Right now, the Big 12 currently has BYU at the top, unblemished. The Utah game, another discussion, but they're unblemished, all right? Colorado has 1 conference loss. Okay, Iowa State was previously tied with Colorado for second in the conference, also with 1 conference loss. Iowa State lost yesterday. So right now, Colorado, again, if they win out, they will be in the Big 12 title game. I'm telling you right now, y'all, they're going to win out. Look at what they have left here. They got Utah, at Kansas, and at Oklahoma State. Now, I would say all of those coaches they have to play left are phenomenal coaches, so you don't just disrespect those opponents. I don't think anybody is disrespecting those opponents, but like let's just call a spade here right now. All 3 of those teams I just mentioned, they're all fighting for bowl eligibility. Currently, Kansas and Oklahoma State each have 3 wins. Utah's coming off a very emotional loss against BYU. Again, another discussion for another time in terms of what you thought about the game and the way that game ended. However, that again favors Colorado. I'm just telling you right now, Colorado's going to win out. They're going to be in Jerry World for a chance to punch their ticket to the college football playoff. I want to make sure we all get aligned here too, because after the Nebraska game, I had reservations about Colorado. I was like, man, I don't know. That looked very 2023-ish of Colorado in the way they showed up against that Nebraska team at Nebraska. Had trouble up front. Nebraska was more physical. Here's the thing. Colorado is not the same team that we saw in week 2 that we're seeing right now. You're having different players step up, and you're seeing Colorado continue to trend upward like we've talked about for the last few weeks. They get better each week, and right now, they're playing their best football. And it's something we talk about with a lot of these great teams in the sport. Typically, historically at least, Kirby Smart's teams, they play their best football in November. Nick Saban's teams always play their best football in November, December. Right now, Dan Lanny's got his team playing their best football. Deion Sanders has his team playing their best football. They're doing just good things, or I'll rephrase that. They are doing good football team things, as deep as it is to say. They're rushing the passer. Right now, Colorado has a top 10 sack rate in America. Top 10. They're getting stops on short yardage. Rewind the tape to the game against North Dakota State, week 1 of the college football season. FCS opponent, I'll say this again. If it's me, I'm never scheduling North Dakota State, no matter who I am for my first game of the season. I digress. But there were multiple times now where Colorado, it's 4th and 1, and North Dakota State's getting the push, or 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, whatever it was. They were getting the push. And on the flip side then, Colorado was not getting the push offensively. Yesterday, and throughout the course of the last couple of weeks, you've seen Colorado win those short yardage moments. That's a positive trend. That's maturity. That's growth in the confines of a 12-game season. They've continued to progress. Also, I'll say this. Colorado, we talk so much about having to have balance. Can they have enough of something on the ground to pacify a defense? 2 of the last 3 games, Colorado as a team has run for over 100 yards, getting more balanced, guys stepping up. We've mentioned this before on different videos. Augusta has been a massive, I guess addition is the word you would use, but a massive guy to have surge for them at this point in the season, which is absolutely huge. And what that comes down to here, it amplifies your fastball. Because the fastball, we all get what it is here, man. It's Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter in that receiving core. It is. And when you're able to just have a little bit of something on the ground to keep defenses honest, it allows number 2 to spin it for you. And that's a big reason why Deion Sanders' football team is averaging over 300 yards through the air per game. That's tough to beat. It's tough to match up with. And so that's great they're playing that way, and it's great that they are trending that way, and that's obviously going to benefit them the rest of the way and a big part of why I believe they're going to win out. But I think more importantly, you see this Colorado football team do championship things. And what I mean by that is they're not fazed by the spot. And this is a thing we've seen now, and quite frankly, the opposite of what we saw from Colorado last year. Last year, start out hot, lose a game, things kind of go off the rails. You get up big against Stanford and can't finish. It seems like maybe Colorado took their foot off the gas or got complacent, whatever you want to say. That's not this team. Yesterday against Texas Tech, perfect example. They're up 13-0 on the road. No panic, no finger pointing. No one's losing their cool. Surge back, win the football game pretty definitively. All right, you're on the road after an emotional win over Baylor, and it's like, oh my gosh, can Colorado go to UCF being a double-digit point dog and keep their cool and be able to duplicate the effort they had last week? Played great. I mean, won that game definitively. And that's, I think, really the story of this college football season and why what Colorado is doing is even more impressive. We see so many teams with good coaches, with good rosters, have massive letdowns after a big win or a massive letdown after a tough loss, an emotional loss. We haven't seen that from Colorado. We saw it from Iowa State this past weekend. We saw it from Georgia after, or I guess we saw it from Alabama after the Georgia game. We've seen it from Georgia now throughout the course of the season, not be able to play their best football each and every week. Like those are well-coached football teams with good rosters. Colorado is continuing to be consistent and trend the right direction. Championship teams do that. And it's one thing to have Deion Sanders speak a certain way about his football team, because Deion Sanders, man, he's a championship level kind of individual when it comes to how he operates. Like if it were just purely on Deion Sanders' shoulders, Colorado would win out. And Colorado would have been successful from the jump like they have been. Like Deion Sanders and the way that he operates is a consistent variable in my mind. The trick here, and why it's so impressive what Deion Sanders has done, is it's not just your head coach. What makes college football teams successful is the leadership doesn't stop at the top level from the coaching staff. It infiltrates itself throughout the locker room and throughout the roster. And you saw different times throughout yesterday's game for Colorado. You saw guys, when they weren't playing to their expectations, you see whether it be an errant pass or you see a drop pass or you see just things sort of not looking how they are supposed to when they go down 13-0, you see Colorado getting fiery with each other on the sideline. And I think someone who's never played sports before looks at that and says, bad culture, finger pointing, that's not good, that's not winning football, that's going to come back to bite them. What I'm seeing is the standard. What I'm seeing is guys that understand what they're capable of, not playing to it, and getting on each other, trying to push each other to get to where they ultimately want to go in the heat of the moment. I love that. Again, championship things is what I've seen from Colorado here since that game against Baylor. And I think if you're Colorado now, again, you're in control. I feel a ton of confidence they will win out, and they will, again, be 4 quarters from punching their ticket to the college football playoff. I'll take it a step further. The way they're trending and the way that BYU's trending, I'm not so sure that if that game were played today, I wouldn't pick Colorado. All right? So we'll pick that one when it gets here. But right now, Colorado will be my pick to not just win out, but win the Big 12 and be in the college football playoff. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure you're subscribed. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.